All right, Shalom. First off, give all praise to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakar Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS. Salutes and honors to the elect, all the brothers across the four corners who are enduring, in truth and sincerity, and women and children who follow. So, I've been reading this book, Babylon the Timbuktu. All right, I know a lot of brothers have this book, and a lot of edification comes out via this book. I'm just gonna get into some meat and potatoes of the book, man. Like I said, it's a real good read. If you don't have it, I definitely recommend that you do get it. It's some points in here that most brothers already know, and I'm gonna cover some of them. But a lot of this is just, it was new information to me. So, I like geography and maps and all that, So, I just want to edify the brothers because, when I was reading it, I could see it pretty vividly, but I know maps in my head. I know a lot of other brothers aren't as good as, geography with me. But if I put, a face to it, which is what I'm doing right now, put the map in front of your face as I read it. And, I think you'll get a better clue on the point I'm trying to hammer home here. So, this is from page 84. Everything I'm reading is from between page 84 and I believe page 90. I'm not gonna read the whole thing. Like I said, we're just gonna get some good points, some meat and potatoes, from the book. So this is from page 84. It says in the year 65 BC, the Roman armies under General Pompey captured Jerusalem. In 70 AD, General Vespasian and his son Titus put an end to the Jewish state with great slaughter. During the period of the military governors of Palestine, many outrages and atrocities were committed. Were committed against the residue of the people. During the period from Pompey to Julius, it has been estimated that over 1 million Jews fled into Africa, fleeing from Roman persecution and slavery. The slave markets were full of black Jewish slaves. Now, of course, you see the map. Israel is right over here. Okay, so they were flowing into Africa, to escape that Roman persecution. And, they didn't just go into Egypt. They went south. They went, back that way. They came all the way over this way. They were over here. There were even some in the desert, which is all of this pretty much right here. Okay? We ran all of this. Everything except pretty much southern Africa. But, we made our way down there too. But it's all about to come out, man. We have to get down. So, I want to get this scripture real quick. This is Matthew 24. I'm going to start at 14. It says, "And this gospel of the kingdom should be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, then the end shall come. When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet, standing in a holy place, then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains. Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house, neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes." Okay, it says, "Woe to them that are with child, and them that give suck in those days." All right, now, specifically, Yahushua was talking about 70 AD. All right, so we seen, or we heard, that they left and they fled into Africa. Okay, so let's pick this up. It says the Jewish philosopher Philo, about 40 BC to 40 AD, who lived in Alexandria, Egypt, said that 1 million Jews resided in Libya and Egypt from Catabamus to the border of Ethiopia. Okay, Professor A.H. Godbey said that Philo leaves us doubtful about the boundaries of Ethiopia that he meant. Okay, but we're gonna go into what he said. He said that about 1 million Jews lived in Egypt and in Libya. So that's North Africa. Okay, right about here. Oh, Slovakia. All right, in these two countries. Now, right about here, that's where Carthage was. That's where you get Hannibal Barca and his father. You know, those are the ones who fought against the Romans. Okay, so Libya was a big hub. They used to call Carthage the second Jerusalem. Basically, you had a lot of our people there, and also historically, we're gonna get into. Well, I ain't gonna jump the gun on it, but that's just 1 million Jews just in these two countries right here by itself. All right, that's running shit. That's what I definitely call running shit. Next excerpt. E. Schurer wrote, this is from 85, page 85. E. Schurer wrote that Hebrewism was detectable by its inscriptions from the Egyptian border westward across North Africa to Mauritania. Okay, so that's right here, all across North Africa. Okay, all the way to Mauritania, right there. It says, A.J. Godbey says Jerome, one of the four doctors of the church, wrote that Jews were spread from the western extremity of Mauritania to India. Okay, so Mauritania, all the way, covering all of these lands right here, and then in the Middle East, of course, that's where we're from, all the way here, and then all the way out off the screen into India. So when it says, you had Jews, men of all nations, when it says, the Egyptian, or, men from Cyrene or Crete, we stayed in all these places, man. Okay, and we held rank in all these places. We weren't just regular citizens, man. We the dudes today. We was the dudes back then. We always gonna be the dudes. We gonna be the dudes in the next life. Okay. All right. Keep on reading. It says now ancient Mediterranean included part of the territory of the Atlantic Ocean, Morocco, and parts of modern day Algeria. So it says Morocco and parts of modern day Algeria. So all of this used to be pretty much one country. Okay, and we stayed all up in there. So we owned Libya, we owned Egypt, we owned Algeria, Mauritania, and Morocco. Okay, so that's why when we say we had people everywhere, we literally had people everywhere. Okay, you got that rapper French Montana. Okay, he's from Slovakia. He's from Morocco, which is right here. Slovakia, but he's from Morocco. Okay, and it's a good chance that he's a Jake, because we just read that we had people there. Okay. Reading on, it says the Greek historian and geographer Strabo said concerning the Jews of Cyrene, which is Libya, and you see the word Cyrene all the time in the scriptures. It's going back to Libya. It says now these Jews had already gotten. Matter of fact, it says 63 BC. So this is before Titus, Vespasian, and all of that. Okay, even before the Lord. Okay, it was said that Now these Jews already had gotten into all cities, and it is hard to find a place in the inhabitable earth that has not admitted this tribe of men and is not possessed by it. Okay? I'm going to read that one more time. It's hard to find a place in the inhabitable earth that has not admitted this tribe of men and is not possessed by it. Alright. It says, just to skip down a little bit, it says, Slakia. It says, these Jews in particular manner, it says a privileged status, and, hold on, let me start back up. And it has come to pass that Egypt and Cyrene, as having the same governors and a great many other nations, imitate their way of living. Alright, so what's going on today? It's the same thing. Yeah, all kind of culture vultures want to imitate us, man. We come out with the styles, they copy us. And, it's the same. There's nothing new under the sun. They did it back then. It says, other nations imitate their way of living, maintain great bodies of these Jews in particular, particular manner, which is, it says, privileged status, and growing up to greater prosperity with them, and make use of the same laws with that nation also. So they adopted our laws as well. Why? Because, we were a really cultured people. Okay? We had the law, statutes, and commandments. It kept law, it kept order. Okay? That's why the law is the law. Okay, so moving forward, it's a lot to this, man. I really want to read all of this, but it's getting kind of lengthy. We're already at 12 minutes, but on 50's page 86, I'm gonna read this. It says, the Jews are an omnipresent people. They seem to exist everywhere. All right, that's what they said about us. All right, so let me see. Skip to the next heading. This is from the Black Jewish Empire of Ghana, which Ghana's right here. Okay. But so that's talking about the Empire of Ghana, and we know that most of the slave ships, they banked and they took people mainly from this area right here. Okay, this is where most of the slaves were taken, in that area. So when we say Ghana, you definitely know who we talking about. I know a few people from Ghana, and they get down. They jakes, man. They cool people. But also, this kind of blew my mind too, because we have well, let me read it first. The ancient Black Empire of Ghana was established in Western Sudan. Now, that kind of tripped me up. I'm like, Sudan? Because Sudan is right here, all right, on the east side of Africa, all right, and this used to be one country, now it's broken in two because of the war. So you got Sudan, you got South Sudan. But it says Sudan was called French West Africa. Okay, so I'm like, okay, it's called French West Africa. So we in West Africa over here. Okay. It says the northern boundary of the region is the Sahara Desert. And so let me see. I got another picture. Okay, so you can see the Sahara Desert in this one. Alright, all that northern land is the Sahara Desert. So that's the northern border of Sudan. Okay, so now that you see that, we're gonna make a little line about right there. That's approximately where the desert is. Block it. It says that that's the northern boundary of the region, and it says the western and southern border is Lake Chad. All right, so Lake Chad is right here. So all of this pretty much over here was known as Sudan. Okay, which basically means black. So, Slovakia. It says in ancient times the Carthaginians from North Africa, from up here, from North Africa, penetrated the Sahara Desert in the western Sudan. Okay, so they were over here in the west, into western Sudan during the 2nd and 3rd centuries, when the north and the eastern Africa had amassed over 1 million Jews. These Jews began a continuous migration to the region of the Niger River, which is this little river right there. Okay, so they came from here and they went that way as well. This is how it is breaking down basically how we came to pretty much, we were running fucking Africa. Like I said, you know, we came to the land of Ham and we ran it, not these fucking Hamites. But let me see, where was that? Slovakia. According to researchers Nahum Slausk, the tradition of the Jewish traders in the Sahara stretches back to biblical times, and it is not at all surprising to encounter in every part of the desert traces, even survivals of primitive Judaism at one time played an important role in the whole region of the Sahara, from Senegal to the very borders of Somaliland. Okay, so Senegal is let me see. I know it's in this area over here. Okay, so from Senegal all the way to Somaliland. All right, so it's basically, like I said, that border right there of Africa. So we basically, that's a fertile land. Okay, Africa as a whole is a very fertile land. You see all these rivers. All these rivers make for fertile land, and pretty much everything up north is desert. But that's why Egypt, did so well, because they had, the Nile River running through it. But pretty much everywhere else in Africa has, rivers running through them. It's good for transportation. It's good for, growing your crops and whatnot. That's why, a lot of people went to Africa to rape it, pretty much, But it's getting a little bit longer than I really wanted to go. Like I said, it's a lot of information. It's just one more thing that I must needs to bring out. This is from page 90. It says, the black Jews had an advantage over the African tribes. They carried their culture, history, laws, and written records with them, and assured them a constant precedent for the development of higher social organization. Because of the stability of the black Jewish culture, the Jews were not absorbed into the autonomous, I'm fucking that word up, population. In fact, the Jews absorbed some of the native tribes. Okay, like I said, they ride narco tails. It says the Jews made use of every opportunity. They were industrious and skillful people, like we are today. And it's gonna give an example, man. Cause like I said, man, we made everything in this country, man. We are the salt of the earth, and this proves it. This is gonna prove it. It says the Jewish Gahanian states were found kings, princes, governors, generals, secretaries, treasurers, revenue agents, judges, architects, engineers, doctors, historians, language interpreters, mathematicians, jewelers, sculptors, masons, carpenters, painters of art, goldsmiths, leather workers, potters, armors, saddlers, blacksmiths, culturalists, etc. Okay, we did everything. If you name it, we did it. Okay, and that's how it is today. We built this fucking country up. We do everything. Okay, as a nation of people, not just the three that were running Africa at the time, not just Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Okay, the other 9.5 tribes as well. They do their thing as well, man. But this is it's been kind of long. If you're still with me, the water. I hope that you were edified. And I just wanted to say, if you look into it, because there's some more stuff I really wanted to get into, but we were in all these countries, man. We were in Egypt, we were in Libya, we were in Algeria, Morocco, okay, Mauritania, Senegal, all the Soul Coast with Ghana, Nigeria, Niger, Chad, Sudan, Ethiopia, Somalia, okay, and so on and so forth, man. All of this, and remember, because it said all the way to India. We had major populations all over here, man. And then right across the way, you got Spain, the Moors. There was a lot of we own Sicily. That's why the Sicilians are black, so-called black people. Look how close it is to Africa. It's just a hop, skip, and a jump, man. Then of course we had our people here in Greece, Turkey, right there. Okay, that's where Constantine's capital was. So we ran this thing, man. And when our kingdom come, we're gonna run everything, man. We're gonna run all of this, all of that, man. That being said, Lord, as well, you were edified. I want to give all praise that's called law to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakar Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS. Salutes and honors to the elect. All the brothers across the four corners who are enduring, and truth and sincerity in the women and children who follow. Shalom.